visionary, revolutionary. I'm a visionary, revolutionary.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the DMB podcast. I'm your host, Camilio Salamander, and my co-host, KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit, man.
Now, guys, I do want to apologize for the lack of uploads of the podcast we've been doing. Most of this is on me, but at a later time, me and KB will dive into that to let you know what happened and everything. But nevertheless, it's episode 60. 60 episodes in. We almost there to that 100 episode mark. What are we going to do for the 100th episode special?
I think you're looking too far ahead. What are we doing for episode 69?
We should do some throwback Divas era shit.
I like it. But exactly what though?
Just talk about how sexist WWE was back then. And all the shit that's going on now, well, I don't know. That's too much. I don't know.
That might be the conversation piece for episode 69. But like you said, there's a lot of bullshit that's going on in the wrestling community. Let me ask you, because we're a part of it. Why is the IWC a piece of shit? Why is everybody in the IWC pretty much fucking scumbags?
Everybody's judgmental nowadays. Everyone.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It was the war between WWE and AEW. Then it's the ratings. And now everybody's getting body shamed. Booker T on Adam Cole. And now, today, I've been seeing a lot of slander towards Eddie Kingston. And everything that I'm seeing is all about Physique. So it got me wondering, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. Is Physique really that important in wrestling, or has Vincent Kennedy McMahon just conditioned our minds to just want to see athletes at their peak conditioning?
You know what I think if we talk about Physique and all those type of characteristics, I think stamina is the most important thing in wrestling. Do you have the stamina to put on a good ass match and go beyond 5 minutes? I think that's the most important thing if you really want to narrow it down. But Physique, not really, because some of the best wrestlers wasn't in the best of shape. Mick Foley, Rikishi, Big Show, Andre the Giant, Vader. I can fucking go on. Dusty Rhodes. I mean, all the big wrestlers was pretty much. Umaga, he was good. He had a good career.
I mean, but Camille Salamander just playing devil's advocate, because I do agree with you, but I can say the opposite. I mean, do you really? I agree with you, but there does come a point in time. It's like, do you really want to see a guy with his stomach, just flopped over his waist? Or maybe it's just the years of WWE and everybody just looking the same, 6-pack, chiseled to the max, look like they lift 4 times a day.
Well, I will say, when it comes to big guys in wrestling, like your belly hanging over your stomach, no, I don't want to see a sloppy big dude. But all the big dudes we saw was kind of like big firm dudes, like Rikishi, he had a belly, but it didn't hang. It was just poked out. Vader, he had fat on top of muscle. Same thing with Big Show. Same thing with Andre the Giant. Same thing with fucking Umaga. It's like, those is big guys, but you don't see them sloppy. They're not sloppy. They're not like everything jiggling when they walking down and stuff like that. Like they big, but they got some muscle tone to them. So something like that, I don't mind. But I mean, you can't be out here like, I don't want to see nobody like that, damn near on my 300-pound life, 600-pound life, and shit, and trying to wrestle. I ain't trying to see that. I mean, is it body shaming? I don't know. Is it a preference? Yeah, because it's just like everybody got a preference. You wouldn't want to see two wrestlers go out there who don't know how to wrestle and wrestle. You want to see two people who know what they're doing go out there. I mean, if I like my wrestling, I like two big beefy men going at it. That's what I like to see. If I like two skinny guys going at it, that's what I like to see. But I think it really just depends on what you like.
But I like what you said there. But I wanna raise you two questions because I think you hit the nail on the head. When does preferences become body shaming? And two, let's just go back a minute and touch on the Eddie Kingston as the guy. So when you look at Eddie Kingston, do you look at Eddie Kingston and say, "Oh God, he has a terrible physique"? When I look at Eddie Kingston, I just think like he's not your average wrestler. He's more of a fighter who just adopted the wrestling style. So I don't expect Eddie Kingston to be in like WWE shape. I don't expect Eddie Kingston with a six pack.
I could see your point, but what you had sent me and I seen it, I was like, goddamn. But I don't think he always been like that either. Even like a few months ago when this feud first started, I don't think he was like that. Like he was big, but not like that. But I just think he was just relaxed. At one point Chris Jericho gained some weight. He was just chilling, enjoying the time, relaxing. And then when you get too comfortable, you gain some weight. I just think that's what it is right now. I mean, he'll bounce back, just like Chris Jericho. He bounced back. Chris Jericho looked like the best. He looked like he's like in fucking like 97 again.
No, Chris Jericho has done a great job with his body transformation in a short amount of time. But just going back to Eddie Kingston, so when you looked at the picture, what was your initial thought? Just like he doesn't have the best physique?
My first thought was damn. Then after that, I would start reading what people were saying, and then I was like, yeah, I could see. But then again, I was like, that's why I was like, since when preference became body shaming. So I could see why people were saying what they were saying. But then again, it's like, that's why I said some of the best wrestlers was big guys. So at the same time, it's like it was big guys that was champions too. So it was like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, some guys, I just really think it just depends on what you like. But when I first seen it, I was just like, damn. But then reading the comments and stuff, I was just like, yeah. Like, I mean, if you prefer your wrestling a different way, you prefer your wrestling to look a certain way. I mean, it's not body shaming because every sport do the same thing. If you was an NBA coach or the person who in charge of the roster, the GM, and you see this particular basketball player getting big, and let's say he's only like your second rotation or your third rotating player, he getting big, and you get him a time limit, him get in shape, you gonna cut him. So even with football, you kind of get bigger and stuff, you get cut.
I feel you, but in the sense of wrestling, because you are right, in a sport, yeah. But I would argue that with wrestling, everything is predetermined. So as long as you can go out there and do the job, it doesn't matter. But I argue this,
wrestling is a sport.
I'd argue this. One of my true problems with WWE is that, and I mean this just in a physique type of way, everybody looks the same. Everybody looks the same except for one person. You can probably guess who it is.
No.
Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah.
In WWE, everybody looks the same.
A little bit though.
He has, but Kevin Owens doesn't look like the typical WWE superstar, but he does everything else good. As in everybody else, they're jacked, they're big, they're buff, They have six packs. That's what WWE wants. But then you go over to the AEW roster, and you got motherfuckers like Keith Lee, Eddie Kingston, Matt and Jeff Hardy don't exactly have the best body.
Veer Mahan is in there.
I think Veer Mahan has a great body.
Ain't got no abs yet.
I mean, that'll come.
They're gonna try to make him look like Jinder. When Jinder first came back, all veiny and shit.
Yeah. But that's my thing, that's one of the best things to me about AEW is just the diversity of the roster and not everybody looking the same.
Yeah, because with WWE, that is true, because everybody do look, and if you is big, they make you get small. Gunther, that's one example. Braun Strowman is another example. Kevin Owens, I mean, he's still big, but if you compare him to when he first got signed to now, it's a noticeable difference. It's just seconds now before they make Otis do the same.
Right. And that's somebody who surprised me, but then again, we all knew he was the best one out of that group. So, I mean, I would even throw Montez. I would even throw Angelo Dawkins in there. Angelo Dawkins doesn't have a knockout body either, but it works.
He had to slim down.
Everybody has slimmed down.
If you're a big guy in WWE, you go and slim down. You get caught up to that main roster. That's what it seemed like. Like NXT, you could be big as you want, but it's like as soon as you get caught up on the main roster, you have to slim down.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a good thing though, because you're going to be recognized by more eyes, and in order to make that WWE product grow, you have to have the body type.
I was going to say Nia Jax from NXT to when she first got caught up. She slimmed down a lot too. Yeah, but I think it's some new job. It's only a matter of time before WWE enforce that, like just like they did with Gunther. I'm pretty sure that was enforced. I'm pretty sure they probably said the same thing to Keith Lee too.
Because Keith Lee did look like he was slimming down a little bit, especially when he came back with the Bearcat. He looked a lot smaller than what he used to look in NXT. But I just don't think that physique should play that much of a part unless I just need you to go an extensive amount of time and you physically can't do it. Like you said, stamina is the biggest thing. I need you to go longer than 5. And there may be a time where I need you to go 30.
All right. At least you should at least be able, if you're a big guy, you should be at least able to pull out 130-minute match every rivalry.
130 every rivalry?
I'm not saying they're gonna do it, everyone, but you should be capable of pulling out at least 30-minute match every rivalry. You know, some rivalries can last 6 months. Some can be a few weeks.
Yeah. I mean, I would just want you to be able to give me however much I need. And then it just depends on what company you work for. In AEW, your stamina's probably got to be about 15 to what? We'll say 15 to 45.
I was gonna say, if you could be a big dude and have great stamina, your stamina, Keith Lee's stamina could be way better than Darby Allin's. Size don't really matter on stamina; it's your lungs. So if Keith Lee really just focus on his lung exercises and stuff like that, I mean, you could do that. So it's like really size don't really matter with the stamina thing, because a big guy can have the most stamina in the world.
I mean, I also think it's just how you book it. If the big guy has a lot of stamina, then you can book him to pretty much control the match. But if he doesn't have that much stamina, then you really got to work around the littler guy carrying it. And that can have its perks depending on who the little guy is, or it can have its flaws.
Yeah.
But I just don't think that physique should really carry that much, because if you have great in-ring talent, I really don't care what you look like unless you look like you're dying. Mm-hmm. I mean, Stone Cold never had the best physique.
I mean, at one point he did. 97. I mean, but you want to be technical, yes, because throughout his most of his career, he didn't have the best physique, but The Rock didn't either. The Rock didn't start gaining muscle till he left and went for Hollywood the first time, and then when he came back after shooting Scorpion King, then that's when he started to we start seeing him get bigger. When he got his tribal tattoo and shit. But before then, I mean, he just had pecs and shit. But I mean, he wasn't in the best of shape. Shit, back in the day, the only good best wrestler who's in a natural shape, natural, didn't really work out for that shape was Ron Simmons. He was just naturally built like that. If you hear all the stories about Ron Simmons, it's crazy. He don't work out, but was able to bench press damn near 300 pounds just on the first try.
I mean, some people just built for it.
Yeah.
But then I would argue, or I would ask you, when did the edict change? When did the edict change to where these guys had to be top tier shape, have to have the best body, 6-pack, chiseled, muscle, big beefy guy? When did that become the edict? Because I feel like you just looked around and that's what it was.
I can tell you exactly when it happened. Once where it started to happen once when WWE bought out WCW. But once the TNA came around, and then it was seeming like it could compete. But once they made it know that basically can't nobody compete in the United States with WWE. WWE is the go-to show if you want to watch wrestling. That's where it took over. That's the image. So if you want to succeed in wrestling, you have to follow these steps. You have to model what we see on TV. So once WWE became the mainstream and the only product in the United States, the number one wrestling product in the United States, that's where all of this happened. So they can make demands like that because now you got places you can go to that's getting respected, but then they had a demand you had to be under 250 to get signed and shit like that. You had to do it. Most people didn't want to go overseas and stuff like that, so you gotta do what you gotta do.
No, I when you put it like that, I could definitely see. So do you think maybe that could be part of the reason why CM Punk was never or wasn't as big as he should have been?
It could be, or he just didn't care about really working out. CM Punk was probably one of the ones that didn't work out, but worked on stamina and stuff. He probably his working out probably just running, jogging and stuff. But CM Punk was never a big guy even throughout his whole career. He got big one time, and I think that was when he was in WWE. But even when he was big, it wasn't big though. He had a couple pounds, but not fat big. He gained a couple a little muscle.
So do you think that the physique, because we know physique plays a big factor. Just look at who are the champions now. Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley is the new United States champion. Austin Theory is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion. When you just look at these guys and their physique, I want to ask you, is that a reason why WWE would never fully push Kevin Owens to the moon?
With Vince McMahon controlling, yes. If all of the stuff that's going on with him make he really leaves and don't come back, then no, Kevin Owens is getting a push. But as long as Vince McMahon's in charge, because Vince McMahon, we already know, he has a certain image that he likes. We already know Vince, he gets off on them big beefy men. If your 6-pack got a 6-pack, you get pushed. We seen with Chris Masters, he just didn't have the mic work, but he was getting pushed when he first came because of his physique. Anybody that's big as hell, got muscles, getting pushed. Finn Balor, he would have got pushed if he was just. I think if he was a little taller, Vince would have pushed him to the moon. He only got that first push because of Triple H, but once he got hurt, I think that was it for Vince. Like, all right, it was like you had one strike and you got hurt at the biggest moment, so I'm done. I think it was one. I think it was one of those. But if Vince was, I'm not Vince, but Finn was just a. It was like 5'11", 5'8". Cause you know anything above like 5'6" in wrestling is kind of tall. If you 5'8", 5'9", you like damn near a giant for real.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I'm like 5'10", 5'11". If you 6'4", goddamn, it's like you like one of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, not to cut you off, but it just goes back to what I said. I can't remember when I said it, but remember when I was saying like Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, they're the new giants. Yeah. They're the hybrid giants. You know, not gone are the the 6'10s, the 7-foot giants. Now you're getting Romans and Drews, the 6'3", 6'4" powerhouses. Those are the new giants.
Everybody else is probably like 5'4", 5'5".
I say 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah.
But just a couple more questions, then we get out of here. So putting everything on the table, because it's no secret here. We both watch AEW. We both watch WWE. You're putting your roster together. What are you doing?
I'm not gonna lie to you, KB. I'm going after beefy men. That's not just strong guys. I'm going after the big guys too, like a Keith Lee. I would love to see like a Keith Lee and a Roman Reigns match, because I would love to see that just for the fact that I'm waiting for Roman to take him off his feet, or vice versa. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. You put two beefy men against each other, it's borderline classic.
No, I agree. That actually does not sound like a bad idea. If I'm being honest, Salamander, I'm going towards the AEW route. I want to put people in there who look just like regular people who just so happen to know how to wrestle. That when you have commonality with the fans, that shit gets over. Orange Cassidy is a prime example. Anybody can beat Orange Cassidy. Lazy, unenthusiastic, don't really care. But when you need to get it going, when the asphalt's got to hit the pavement, he can do it.
It do seem like AEW did sign like a lot of people who just had like regular jobs that just had ambitions to wrestle, like Baker being a dentist and shit, and then shit wrestler on the side. So it's like that's a hell of it. Like,
I mean, Britt Baker is just like a regular person.
Yeah, like she just so happy to wrestle for fun. Like, that's crazy. Like, fucking Powerhouse Hobbs was a fucking waiter and shit before he got signed. Like, that's crazy.
And I think that's what bothers me with WWE, because it's like, yeah, you come in there and you're a WWE star, but you don't understand, with being a WWE superstar, they suppress your entire past. We really can't get to know you from humble beginnings.
Unless you play football. If you play football and made it on the practice squad at least.
Yes.
They would say that. They just now starting to talk about Happy Corbin shit, and only because of that feud that he got with Pat McAfee. But they just now starting to bring out his motherfucking football career.
I saw a tweet where somebody had put a picture up of Pat McAfee and Baron Corbin on that Indianapolis Colts team, and then said, "Long-term booking at its finest."
I seen that shit too. That shit funny.
One thing, Britt Baker in WWE, I want to see it, but I feel like they would make a joke of her of her character, and she would be doing dentist shit on there.
Of course. She'll be the new they had the damn, I forgot his name on the top of my it's on top of my head, but I just can't think about it. Excuse, just forgive me, guys. But the barber character back in the day. He was just a jobber, but that was just his whole gimmick was that he was a barber and trying to cut people's fucking hair and shit. That's what they're gonna do with her. Like, she gonna try to pull out her opponent's teeth, but it's never gonna happen. She just gonna keep losing.
That's a damn shame too. That is a damn shame. So let me ask you this: the greatest tag team to me in the game right now is FTR. They don't really have that great of a physique either. You think that held them back in WWE, or is it just WWE's lack of tag team wrestling?
I would say yes, but then no, because if WWE actually show us that they care about that tag division more, then I could really tell if it's the physique or just because of the tag. But just because they don't care about the tag and they didn't have a great physique, I don't know.
Well,
but
you guys are.
It's for them though. That physique, because back in the day, only like a few. It was like on the roster, only like 10 people really had like abs and shit back in like the 80s and shit like that. Everybody else just had like regular bodies, so it works for them, especially because of the fact that they admire the old school way of wrestling so much.
You know what it is?
For FTR.
You know what it is? It was Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. They started. It was those type of bodies that Vince McMahon made a lot of money off of and fell in love with. You said Rick Rude?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's shaming that body, shaming everybody in the crowd.
Vince McMahon made a lot of money off that. I mean, because you can even look at he already had the body, but I feel like he got bigger as his career went on. John Cena.
Yes.
I feel like John Cena got bigger as his career went on, but when he came in, he
big. The Rock too. Look at The Rock from 2002 till when he came back in what was it, 2011? Mm-hmm. Look how big of a change that is. He went from like 197 to like fucking 250. 197 to like 220. 8% body fat.
Listen. Sometimes they just. I told you earlier, some people just got it in them like that. Maybe he just always had it in him, but wasn't really trying to commit to the clanging and banging. Then one day he just said, "Fuck it."
He got big when he started shooting for I think it was Fast 5, Fast and the Furious, because he had that scene with Vin Diesel. You know, Vin Diesel is a big dude too. That's when he got big. That's what actually caused him to get big though. John Cena, on the other hand, I don't know. He just got big because he wanted to. Now Batista always been a big dude.
Yeah, Batista's definitely been a big dude.
He just got more leaner now. But
yeah,
before we head up out of here, I got a question for you, and I know that's gonna be hard.
What's the question?
But you've been giving FTR their props, and I just want to see where you line up at.
Okay.
Greatest tag team of all time.
Midnight Express.
Midnight Express.
Yes.
You want to take a guess at mine? That's on WWE in the early 2000s. They ran the division in the late 90s to the early 2000s, you could say.
Oh, well, that took away my first pick. I was gonna say the Basham Brothers.
Yeah.
Matt and Jeff.
Yes, you nailed that. If you said the Dudleys, I was gonna play along with it, but it was really the Hardys the whole time. But yeah, that's not as hard as I thought, though.
Listen, FTR is on a godlike run right now. The only run that's better than FTR's is Roman's.
I got another question for you. Do you think
What
you
is
can answer these 3 rapid questions? You have to answer them fast. They're the
Okay.
greatest of all time, and they're the greatest. The greatest of what? And then you just name the superstar, right?
Okay.
Greatest WWE gimmick,
Undertaker.
wrestler,
Oh, John Cena.
all around superstar.
Kurt Angle.
All right, that's good.
John Cena is
Greatest
is
character
one of
development.
greatest character development.
Yes.
Ooh. Seth Rollins.
Greatest character change.
Uh, Ezekiel.
What? I thought you were gonna rock my boy Chris Jericho.
Nah, Ezekiel.
What? Greatest gimmick recent within like the last like 10 years.
The Fiend.
Yes. Okay. That's my mom was that too.
The Fiend has just been one of the greatest characters of the last 20 years, and WWE fucked it up.
Yeah, they did. They dropped the ball with that one. But he might be coming back. I don't know. I don't know.
As a moth.
So we're gonna end it after this one. Greatest WWE powerhouse.
Like tag team?
No, just a powerhouse.
Oh, just a powerhouse. Oh, they're the best. Oh, the best. Is Batista like a powerhouse?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it ain't Batista though. I get that to Undertaker. One of the best pure strikers.
I consider Undertaker as a giant, like a giant / striker. Like you got, in 2K you got 2 badges. Undertaker first badge is a giant, the second badge is a striker.
Okay. Powerhouse, greatest power. Mark Henry, Hall of Fame.
Powerhouse? Wow. I was thinking
Can't
more
get no better
than line of Brock Lesnar. Maybe.
I mean, Brock Lesnar at the beginning, yeah, but now he's just like
just
he's an all around damn near striker at this point.
Who's kicking out of F5 nowadays?
Roman Reigns.
Who's picking up somebody with one leg and just tossing them around like you don't give a fuck?
John Cena. Oh, I was about to say John Cena. Roman Reigns did that to Rey Mysterio. Remember when he powerbombed Dominic out the ring?
No, Rey Mysterio got both legs. I'm talking about what he did to that handicapped dude, Brock Lesnar.
That wouldn't fly.
In front of his mama.
That wouldn't fly.
It would. Brock Lesnar don't give a fuck. Who gonna say something? Nobody.
USA and Fox when they want their money back.
They ain't gonna say it to him. That's
of course not. Of course not. They're
gonna go to the boss. They ain't gonna say that shit to him.
Everybody
else, they won't do that shit. Brock Lesnar, he'd be the one to go out there and do it. Like, all right, but shit, that right there just won it over. Like, shit, he did all that in front of his mama and laughed at her face and shit. That is hilarious. That's one.
I can only imagine Nick Khan's call the next day from all of the sponsors.
They probably gonna be like, man, we love that, man.
Damn well they talking to Nick Khan like, now Nick Khan, we can't be having you F5 and one-legged citizens now. That's a bad look.
It's gonna happen. I mean, it happened. I don't know. I mean, that was a different time though. It just all depends. But that shit was funny.
Nah, it was funny, but that's a different time.
That is true.
That was back when your boy still had the overdrive.
He ain't even had no tattoos, just one on his back and shoulder. That was it.
Back when he was wearing the shorts.
Back when he wrestled, didn't do suplexes throughout the whole match.
before he was stomping on people's body parts.
Man.
That was a different time.
Before he stopped wrestling and just started fighting for real.
Right.
And if you think about it, he only wrestle, like actually wrestle if he respect you. If he don't respect you, he throwing your ass around.
I mean, he's Randy Orton. He can do anything he wants.
I'm talking about Brock.
Oh man, we don't listen.
I'm still
care.
Brock. But Randy, yeah, Randy is. I think like if you talk about like a great all around superstar, I would say Randy. Because just think about it, he wrestled. Just think about somebody like, yeah, you can say Triple H, John Cena's, like all the greats and stuff, right?
Right.
Well, who actually wrestled for like 20 years straight? Randy Orton.
Randy.
One company. Ain't changed. He only changed his fucking color and his fucking trunks. Everything else been the fucking same since like 2004.
Randy.
I mean, dang, you think about it. To get his gear, that shit, it's probably he probably saved a lot of money. He never changed the design in 20 years and shit. Like, that's it.
Randy Orton is Randy Orton. We need to put more respect on Randy Orton's name.
You need to put more respect.
Whoa, I respect
We had
Randy
this
Orton.
conversation so many times. You had the audacity to say Kenny Omega is the better wrestler than Randy Orton.
He is. That don't mean I don't respect Randy. I love Randy. I respect Randy.
That's cat.
I love Randy. Randy has one of my all-time favorite matches.
Last question.
Yes.
It's about Randy.
Okay.
Which one is better? The Legend Killer, the Viper, or the Apex Predator? Because the last two is kind of different to me. Like he was the Viper, and he was that. I think that's when he started turning heel. He had all the tattoos and shit. And then the Apex Predator is like the Viper, but he a veteran now, so it's like he's more wiser, but he's still that Viper. So it's like three different characters.
I would say the Apex Predator only because in 2016 when he was on SmackDown before they decided to pull the bullshit of putting it on Jinder Mahal, he was actually carrying SmackDown.
I like the I would say Legend Killer. I just like the hungriness of it. And I think we got some of his best matches.
I mean, he was younger.
We got some of the best RKOs later on in his career. I would say during his Apex Predator time, we got some of the best RKOs. Cause then I think during that time, that's when he realized that he could hit that shit from anywhere. So then that's when he started doing it. But the Legend Killer one, that's when he started filling out that move. So it was like he really only hit it if he was open. But then the Legend Killer, not the Legend Killer, but the Viper, he started easing into it, hitting like giving us little spurts of him catching people off guard, like the Evan Bourne shit, giving us little spurts like that this shit can get hit out of nowhere. And then I say once from like fucking 2014, that's when the Apex Predator was born.
Seth Rollins, one of the greatest RKOs ever. I thought Seth Rollins was about to come down and break his neck. You couldn't have told me.
And he was
I said, there's no way we talking in the back and Randy's like, you're gonna go for the stomp. I'm gonna launch you off my shoulder into an RKO. There's no way you can even remotely get that thought through my head to play out like that.
So you think that is better than the RKO out of the choke slam at WrestleMania? Because usually Undertaker grab your throw at WrestleMania, it's a wrap. You going up.
No, the choke slam RKO, the choke slam RKO reversal from WrestleMania 21 is my absolute favorite reversal that I've ever seen. Because that was supposed to be ball game. He wasn't kicking out of this.
You know what we need to see from Randy? A motherfucking RKO out of the F5. Like Brock spin him, and as he's spinning him off the shoulder, he going down. Randy got his neck, his head, and it go down with the RKO, so they both just laying there. That shit would be dope.
That shit would be dope.
Dope as fuck. We already seen the RKO out of the spear with Roman and shit.
See, I want him to take a time back to the Viper. I think, how did he hit? He just hit it like when he went to the RKO out the spear. He just went straight into the RKO, didn't he?
Yeah.
See, I want to see him.
No, I think he kicked him. Or I don't know if he kicked him that made him stand up, didn't do it, or he just caught Roman mid run and just hit that bitch.
I say if he didn't do this, I want to see him go back to the Viper days, out the spear, kick to the face, RKO out of nowhere. If he hasn't already done it like that, you gotta do something. I need to see, because Randy Orton's about to retire soon, and I know he said he wants to continue to go to, I think he's like 50, but it's coming. How many more years of a flat back bump RKO can he take?
So you know, RKO and twist of face, the same shit. They both is cutters.
Of course.
You just twist with the twist of fate, but we seen the toll it took on Matt Hardy. So it was just bound that it was gonna happen. I mean, you already taking most of that bump by landing on your back.
That's what I'm saying.
But we done got all off topic and shit. But I mean, shit, we gonna come back along with some more great debates and shit that we have. So guys, all y'all have to do is just hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more.
One more thing, Randy Orton, great physique.
Yeah, always have.
Yes, always.
But that's it, guys. Go ahead and leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Push that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. And I'm KB the Mark. Well, I'm not KB the Mark. I'm tripping. That's KB the Mark. I'm Camilo Salamander. Simply with some fucking marks that love sports entertainment.
Whoa, before we get up out of here, remember, guys, fuck sports entertainment. Everything that you do it for the family.
I started with nothing and came out a king. I've been the one that's been ballin' for rings. It's been me and my team and we chasing the green. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free. My team be the shit, we ain't ballin' for free.